Alrighty, so here's the work I've got so far. I'm going to start out here. I'm using the Build React app basic starter kit that React suggests you use with Webpack, which, if you're not familiar with Webpack, it bundles everything together in nice, efficient packages. And I just want to pre-apologize. We have birds, and they're chirping like crazy right now, and I can't get them to stop. So apologize for the birds. So yeah, right now we're using 8.12.0 for Node.js and the current version of React.js. All right, so that's the React app running, and over here, here's a Trello board that I set up with a bunch of questions that I have for you about layout and design, but we can get into that in the meeting. Okay, so here's the homepage of the app. I haven't spent too much time in CSSing and styling it because I still want to focus on functionality, and I have a ton of questions about styling that I want to get with you about. But yeah, so here would be like the homepage that the user would land in with the video playing in the background. I had a lot of issues with this gradient here. It's kind of ugly, but I gotta work on that and CSS it up. But yeah, so here's the homepage. When you click documentation, it takes you to the download the PDF. Help, I haven't gotten to help yet. I had a question about the login pop-up, but basically when you click login, it takes you to this login page. According to the PDF, there's supposed to be like a login thing that shows up like right here in this whole right-hand section, but I just coded it out in its own module, so login's there for now. And then, so let's go to the dashboard. So here's the dashboard. I have a ton of questions about the dashboard as well, specifically the layout. The layout in the PDF was created for a desktop environment, but again, there was no mobile PDFs to go off of. And with the way the nav's set up and the way the components are built, it's not very mobile friendly. So we talked about this before, but once we start getting into the CSV widget, drag and drop, and all that stuff, touch drag, I'm not sure what exactly you want to do for mobile. Plus this side nav here, do you want to like hide it and have like a hamburger that pops up like this, but have the hamburger, see like right now the left nav is taking like, well, it's not CSS for mobile yet, but this left nav would be taking up all of our screen real estate on the left and only giving us very little space like this right here on the right. So we really need to think about mobile layout, to having like a pop over. So instead of coming from the top down, it would come from left to right or right to left or something. All right, so right here, this big empty space, that's where the CSV widget and the individual page stuff goes to, but I have it broken out onto a separate testing platform. So here I have this page, which is testing, is the manual order entry form for the side nav. So if you click this, it would show the content on the right. But I've been coding the manual order entry form in the CSV widget in its own component that I can just copy paste in there. But I'm almost done with this. So you've got manual order entry form and then upload CSV. The manual order entry form, so I'll start with this. It takes some custom information. These input fields have simple validation on them. And again, this isn't the final design. I'm just focusing on functionality because I feel like the design might change. But yeah, so the user has to input information and then the user has to enter a product and a quantity. This button's grayed out until the user enters all the valid information. So if they enter like if they don't fill out the form and they hit submit, it'll show errors across the input fields. If they put too many characters in, it'll show an error. And then I wanted to ask, do you want to have like text pop up over the error saying, username's too long, or do you want to have like a pop-up showing all the errors? So that's one of the questions that I had. And then down here for product, you can add products. So let's add one flashlight, boom. Let's add a flesh jack, 2, boom. And then you can remove products. And then, yeah, once they fill out the form and add their products and they submit order, it'll take all this information, bundle it, and send it in an AJAX request to the endpoint API. And then for the CSV widget, let's go down to Files, Documents. No, it's not Documents. It's Code, Fleshlight CSV. And so boom, here's our upload order entry. So this is the same functionality as before, just slightly different because we're in React now. User will drop a file in. If they click it, it'll remove it. So let's drop another file in and then hit submit. When the user submits, it'll load in the file fields and then the Fleshlight drop fields, which are specified in the PHP, and then the user can drag and drop a file to a field. And if they hit submit, it takes that data and then packages it into a JSON objects and sends it to the server, which it's doing in the background, but it's not showing anything because I wasn't sure how to handle the response yet. So this is something I have to get with you about. Once the user groups all their fields and they hit submit, this is going to send it to the server. The server is going to process it to the endpoint API, and then do you want them to go back to like